Welcome to our channel Wisdom of Stoicism. Have you ever felt stuck in life? Like you're just going through the motions, but nothing is really changing? Maybe you've hit a point where everything feels overwhelming, and you don't know where to start. You're not alone. Even the greatest minds in history, leaders, philosophers, and warriors have faced moments like this. But the difference? They knew how to reset, restart, and refocus their lives. And one of the most powerful philosophies that helped them do it was Stoicism. The Stoics believed that no matter how lost you feel, you always have the power to start again. You can take control of your mind, shift your perspective, and rebuild your life one decision at a time. In this video, we're going to break down 10 powerful Stoic strategies that will help you reset your mindset, restart with purpose, and refocus on what truly matters. These aren't just theories. They are practical steps that will give you clarity and direction, no matter where you are in life. So, if you're ready to take back control, stay with me until the end. Because by the time we're done, you'll have everything you need to rebuild your life the Stoic way. Let's get started. Strategy number 1. Embrace the art of letting go. Have you ever felt stuck in the past? Like no matter what you do, something is holding you back? Maybe it's an old mistake, a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or even a version of yourself that you no longer want to be. This is where the Stoic mindset comes in. And the first step to resetting your life is simple but not easy. You have to learn the art of letting go. The problem is, most people don't let go. They carry their past like a heavy backpack, filled with regrets, guilt, and pain. But here's the truth, holding onto the past doesn't change it. It only weighs you down. Think about it. Imagine trying to run a marathon while carrying a giant boulder. You'll never reach the finish line because you're too busy struggling with the weight of what's behind you. Now, let me ask you something. What are you holding on to right now that's keeping you stuck? Is it a person, a bad decision, a painful memory? Whatever it is, I want you to remember one thing: you can't move forward if you're still looking back. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus once said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them." Think about that. It's not the past itself that hurts us. It's our attachment to it. The way we replay it over and over in our minds. The way we refuse to let it go. But here's the good news. You can let go. You can free yourself. And it starts with one simple shift: acceptance. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, had a powerful practice. He reminded himself daily that everything in life is temporary. The good, the bad, the painful, it all comes and goes. And once you accept this, something amazing happens. You stop resisting reality. You stop wishing things had turned out differently. You stop blaming yourself. You stop replaying what happened. Instead, you say, "It is what it is, and I am moving forward." This isn't about ignoring your past. It's about learning from it and letting it stay where it belongs, behind you. Now, here's something you can do today. Take out a piece of paper. Write down everything that's been weighing on you. Every regret, every mistake, every painful memory. Be honest with yourself. Then, take that paper and either rip it up or burn it. This is a symbolic act, but it's powerful. It tells your mind that you are done carrying this weight, that you are moving forward. Because the truth is, life is short. Too short to waste on things you can't change. So, if you want to restart your life, start here. Let go, free yourself, and make room for something better. Now, before we move on to the next step, ask yourself this. What am I ready to let go of today? Let me know in the comments. And if this message hit home for you, don't forget to like this video. It helps spread the wisdom of Stoicism to those who need it most. Strategy number 2. Practice negative visualization. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, reach for your phone, but it's not there. Your bank account is suddenly empty. Your job? Gone. The people you love? No longer in your life. How does that make you feel? Fear? Panic? Maybe even gratitude for what you still have. This is what the Stoics called negative visualization, the practice of imagining loss before it happens. Not to scare yourself, but to prepare yourself. to make sure you never take anything for granted. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, put it this way: "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Think about it. Most people live their lives assuming everything will always be there. Their job, their home, their relationships. But what happens when things suddenly change? They break down. They panic. They lose themselves in anger or sadness. The Stoics believed that the best way to protect yourself from suffering is to expect it. To mentally prepare for loss so that when life inevitably throws challenges your way, you're not destroyed by them. So how do you actually practice negative visualization? It's simple. Take a moment right now and think about one thing in your life that you take for granted. Maybe it's your health, your family, your ability to walk, talk, or even see the world around you. Now imagine losing it. Not forever, but just for a moment. What if today was the last day you had it? How would that change the way you see it? See, most people only appreciate things after they're gone. But a Stoic learns to appreciate them before they're gone. And that changes everything. Let's say you're frustrated with your job. Instead of complaining, take a second and picture yourself completely unemployed. No paycheck. No stability. Suddenly, that job doesn't seem so bad. Does it? Or maybe you're in a rough patch with a loved one. Instead of holding on to resentment, imagine waking up tomorrow and they're no longer here. Would that argument still matter? Would you still hold that grudge? When you practice negative visualization regularly, something interesting happens. You stop sweating the small stuff. You stop expecting life to be perfect. And you start appreciating what you have right now. It's not about being pessimistic. It's about being prepared. Life is unpredictable, but a Stoic is never caught off guard. They've already seen the worst, at least in their mind. And that's why, when others fall apart, they remain calm. When others are shocked by misfortune, they are steady. Because they knew it could happen. And they were ready. So here's your challenge. Tonight, before you sleep, pick one thing in your life. Something valuable, something important. Imagine losing it. Just for a moment. Feel the weight of that loss. Then, open your eyes, take a deep breath, and be grateful that it's still there. That's the power of negative visualization. That's the power of Stoicism. And that's how you reset, restart, and refocus your life. Strategy number 3. Control the controllable. We all face challenges. Whether it's work stress, relationship problems, or the unpredictable world around us, life can feel overwhelming at times. But here's the truth. There's a lot that's simply out of our hands. The economy, the weather, other people's behavior, these are all things we can't control. So what can we do? The Stoics teach us that the key to a peaceful life isn't in controlling everything around us. Instead, it's in focusing on what we can control: our own thoughts, our reactions, and our actions. In other words, it's about letting go of the things you can't change and putting all your energy into the things you can. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself stressed over something that's completely out of your control? Maybe it's a difficult boss at work, a personal situation with a friend or family member, or even something as big as the political climate. When we fixate on these things, we end up feeling powerless. We waste our time, energy, and mental space on things that don't truly affect us in a meaningful way. Here's where Stoicism comes in. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful Stoic philosophers, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The power we have lies in our ability to choose how we respond to the world. This is something we can always control. Now let's break this down. When life gets tough, ask yourself, what part of this situation can I control? Maybe you can't change the behavior of a difficult colleague, but you can control how you react to them. You may not be able to control traffic, but you can control your response to being stuck in it. By focusing on what's within your control, you'll stop feeling helpless, and you'll regain a sense of empowerment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus went even further by saying, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. If we take this to heart, we understand that life's challenges aren't as much about the problems themselves, but about our approach to solving them. When we stop fighting the uncontrollable, we free up our mental energy to focus on what truly matters: our actions, our growth, and our peace of mind. So, here's the action step for today. Start by making a list of things you're currently stressed about. Now, divide this list into 2 columns. On the left, write down everything you can't control. On the right, list out the things you can control. Be honest with yourself. Once you've done this, take a deep breath. Look at that right column, the things you can control, and focus all your energy on those. Everything else? Let it go. Remember, controlling the controllable doesn't mean ignoring the things you can't change. It just means acknowledging them without letting them steal your peace of mind. Life is much calmer and more fulfilling when we choose to focus on what's truly in our hands. So next time you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, take a step back. Ask yourself, what can I control? And then act with intention, knowing that your thoughts and actions are the true sources of your power. Strategy number 4. Master the power of solitude. Sometimes the best way to reset your mind and refocus your life is to step away from everything. In today's world, we are constantly surrounded by noise, social media, work demands, and the pressure to always be busy. It feels like there's always something happening, and we're expected to keep up. But what if I told you that the most powerful way to regain control of your life is to embrace solitude? Now, I know what you're thinking. Solitude can feel uncomfortable at first. We're taught to be social, to stay connected, and to keep busy. But the Stoics saw solitude as a key tool for mental clarity and personal growth. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often spoke about the importance of spending time alone. He believed that solitude allowed us to reflect, think deeply, and connect with our true selves, free from the distractions of the outside world. Let's think about it. How often do we take time to really sit down and think? Not just about what's on our to-do list, but about the bigger picture, what we truly want from life, who we really are, and what we truly value. Solitude gives us the space to ask these important questions. It allows us to reset, to take a step back from the noise, and refocus on what really matters. But solitude doesn't mean being completely alone all the time or isolating yourself from the world. It means creating intentional time to disconnect. It could be as simple as a quiet walk in nature, turning off your phone for an hour, or setting aside time each day to sit with your thoughts. It's about giving yourself permission to slow down and think without pressure. When you do this, you allow your mind to clear. You let go of the clutter that builds up, whether it's stress, confusion, or just the overwhelming weight of daily life. In fact, some of the greatest minds in history practiced solitude. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote his famous work, Meditations, during moments of solitude. He didn't have a therapist, he didn't have a coach. He simply sat alone with his thoughts and reflected on his actions, his emotions, and his purpose. This process helped him stay grounded, remain focused, and lead with wisdom. So, how can you incorporate this into your life? Start by carving out intentional moments of solitude every day. It doesn't have to be hours. Just 10 to 20 minutes a day can make a world of difference. You can meditate, journal, or simply sit quietly without any distractions. During this time, reflect on your thoughts, your goals, and how you're feeling. It's a way to hit the reset button and realign with your values. As you get more comfortable with solitude, you may find that you begin to understand yourself better. You'll notice patterns in your thinking and behavior that you hadn't realized before. Maybe you'll uncover feelings of stress or anxiety that have been building up, or maybe you'll discover new sources of inspiration. The key is that you're giving yourself the space to really listen to your inner voice. Remember, true growth comes from within. And by embracing the power of solitude, you create the space needed to reconnect with yourself, refocus, and ultimately restart your journey with clarity and purpose. So, take a step back from the chaos, give yourself permission to be alone with your thoughts, and watch how it transforms your life. Strategy number 5. Adopt a beginner's mindset. Imagine this. You've spent years mastering a skill, gaining experience, and building your reputation in a particular area. Now you're an expert, right? But what if I told you that one of the most powerful ways to reset your life is to approach everything, even the things you already know, as if you're a complete beginner? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." And this is where the magic happens. When you stop assuming that you have all the answers, you open yourself to real growth. Let me explain why this is such a game changer. First, think about it. When you approach life with the mindset of a beginner, you stop assuming you know everything. You stop feeling like you're always right. Instead, you start asking better questions. You start noticing the small details you've been missing for years. And that's where true progress begins. Let me give you an example. Think about the last time you tried something new, something you weren't an expert in. Maybe it was a hobby, a project at work, or even a conversation with someone who had a completely different perspective. You were probably a bit nervous at first, right? But because you didn't assume you knew everything, you were open to learning. You probably asked questions, listened carefully, and picked up a lot more than you expected. The key is that sense of curiosity, the willingness to say, "I don't know everything, and that's okay." This is exactly what the Stoics meant when they advised us to adopt a beginner's mindset. It's about dropping your ego and embracing the idea that there's always more to learn. Whether you've been in the same career for decades or are just starting out in a new chapter of life, this mindset will help you grow faster and more effectively. In the context of resetting your life, adopting this mindset can make a huge difference. It helps you clear away the clutter of old beliefs and assumptions that might be holding you back. When you think you already know everything, you miss the opportunities right in front of you. But when you treat every day as a new opportunity to learn, everything changes. So how do you actually adopt this mindset? It's simple. Start by asking yourself this question every day. What can I learn today? And don't just ask it, really reflect on it. Every conversation, every challenge, every success, and every failure has something valuable to teach you. In fact, you might be surprised at how much you'll learn from people you least expect. Whether that's someone younger than you, less experienced, or someone with a completely different background. Instead of assuming you know how things work, ask questions. Listen actively. Don't just respond, truly hear people out. This mindset shift will help you reset your perspective, break free from old patterns, and refocus on growth. By approaching life with this humble curiosity, you'll find that resetting and restarting becomes easier. You'll shed old habits, assumptions, and patterns that no longer serve you, and open yourself up to new opportunities and wisdom that can move you forward. Remember, growth comes from learning, not from assuming we already know everything. So embrace the beginner's mindset and give yourself the freedom to be curious again. It's one of the simplest, most powerful ways to reset your life. Strategy number 6. Set clear and intentional goals. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. This simple truth is one of the most powerful lessons from the Stoics. Having a clear and intentional goal in life is one of the most effective ways to reset and refocus. Without a goal, life can feel like you're drifting aimlessly, caught up in the rush of daily tasks and distractions. But when you set clear, intentional goals, you create a roadmap to follow, a plan that keeps you on track, even in the chaos. One of the core teachings of Stoic philosophy comes from Seneca, who said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." This means that if you don't have a clear purpose or goal, no matter what happens around you, it's all irrelevant. Life becomes a series of random events, and you end up feeling lost. But when you have a specific goal, every action you take starts to make sense, and even the setbacks become part of the process towards success. The key to setting goals in the Stoic way is to focus on what you can control. Instead of obsessing over the outcome, which is often outside of our influence, focus on the actions that will get you closer to that goal. This is a crucial shift. It's not about worrying over whether you'll achieve success or not. It's about committing to the actions that will move you forward. For example, if your goal is to get fit, instead of stressing about the number on the scale, focus on the small, everyday actions that lead to that result. Exercising regularly, eating healthy, getting enough sleep. These are the things you control. Whether the results come in a week or a year, it's your commitment to the process that makes the difference. Another important element of goal setting in Stoicism is to make sure your goals align with your values. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature and virtue, so your goals should not just be about external success, but also about becoming a better person. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to create? The Stoics would also advise that your goals should be flexible. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things won't go as planned. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles aren't something to fear or avoid. They are part of the journey. So when you face difficulties, don't let them derail you. Use them as stepping stones to your ultimate goal. Start with 1 or 2 clear, actionable goals. Make them measurable and realistic. Break them down into smaller, manageable steps. Keep track of your progress and adjust as needed. If something isn't working, learn from it and try a new approach. The important part is that you stay committed to the process, knowing that with every small step forward, you're moving closer to your larger vision. Remember, the Stoic goal is not to chase success for the sake of recognition, wealth, or status, but to become a better version of yourself through consistent effort and self-discipline. This mindset shift is liberating because it puts the focus back on what you can control: your actions, your attitude, and your progress. So, whether you're looking to grow in your career, improve your relationships, or become more disciplined in your daily habits, set clear and intentional goals. Focus on the process, trust the journey, and, most importantly, stay committed to becoming the best version of yourself. Strategy number 7. Reduce your dependency on external validation. Have you ever found yourself constantly looking for approval from others? It's a habit that many of us fall into, especially in today's world where social media constantly measures our worth based on likes, comments, and followers. But what if I told you that true freedom comes when you stop seeking validation from outside sources? The Stoics believed that the only opinion that truly matters is your own. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This might sound harsh at first, but the message is clear. If you're constantly seeking approval from others, you'll never have the peace of mind that comes from living authentically. Think about it. When you care too much about what others think, you become a slave to their judgments. You modify your actions, your words, and even your thoughts based on what you think others will approve of. This creates a never-ending cycle of self-doubt and insecurity. The truth is, there will always be people who don't like what you do, don't agree with your choices, or even judge you unfairly. So why let their opinions dictate your life? Here's the hard truth. No one is going to live your life for you. You are the author of your own story. The Stoics remind us that we need to separate ourselves from external judgments and focus on our own internal growth. Instead of seeking validation from others, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. When you do this, you stop worrying about what people think, and instead, you find peace in knowing you're doing what's right for you. Now, that doesn't mean you should be reckless or disregard the opinions of others altogether. We can all learn from constructive criticism, and being open to feedback is an essential part of growth. But there's a big difference between learning from others and letting their opinions control your decisions. The key is to be able to hear criticism without letting it shake your confidence or sense of purpose. The Stoics practiced this every day. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, faced constant criticism and pressure from others, yet he remained grounded in his own values. He wrote in his journal, "The opinion of others is none of my concern." In other words, he understood that the only opinion that truly mattered was the one he had about himself. So how do you begin to reduce your dependency on external validation? First, start by becoming more aware of when you're seeking approval. Are you checking your phone every few minutes to see how many likes your post has? Are you tailoring your actions to get praise from others? Recognizing these patterns is the first step in breaking free. Next, try focusing on self-affirmation. Each morning, remind yourself of the values that matter most to you. Are you someone who values honesty, kindness, or hard work? Let these values guide your actions, not the approval or disapproval of others. Finally, practice being comfortable with discomfort. There will be times when others disagree with you or criticize your choices. Instead of feeling hurt or defensive, try to see it as an opportunity to practice resilience. Remind yourself that their opinion is just that, their opinion. It has no power over your life unless you allow it to. By focusing on your own growth and letting go of the need for validation, you begin to free yourself from the chains of others' expectations. You'll feel more confident, more at peace, and ultimately, more in control of your life. So remember, don't live for the approval of others. Live for the approval of your own soul. And trust me, that's where true freedom lies. Strategy number 8. Develop an anti-fragile mindset. What if I told you that life's challenges could actually make you stronger? That's what the Stoics believed. In fact, one of their core teachings was that we shouldn't just survive difficulties. We should embrace them, grow from them, and even thrive because of them. This idea, known as the anti-fragile mindset, is one of the most powerful ways you can reset and refocus your life. Let's talk about how you can apply this to your own life. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What Marcus was teaching us is simple. Obstacles aren't something to fear or avoid. They're a part of life, and they are, in fact, a crucial part of your personal growth. Think of the way a muscle grows. When you lift weights, you push your muscles to their limits. First, it's tough and it might even hurt, but over time, those muscles repair and grow stronger than they were before. The same principle applies to your mind and your character. Challenges, adversity, and hardship can push you to become a better, stronger version of yourself. But only if you let them. Here's where most people go wrong. They see adversity as something negative, something to be avoided. But the Stoics understood that these difficult moments, whether it's losing a job, facing a personal crisis, or dealing with a tough situation, are actually an opportunity for growth. It's not about avoiding difficulties, it's about using them to improve your mental resilience and your ability to navigate life with wisdom. Imagine a tough situation you're currently facing. Maybe it's something at work, a relationship, or just life in general that's throwing you off track. Now, instead of focusing on how bad it is, try to ask yourself this. How can this situation make me stronger? What can I learn from this? Let's say you've just experienced a setback at work. Maybe a project didn't go as planned, or you didn't get the promotion you were hoping for. It's easy to feel discouraged or defeated in that moment. But remember, this is where your mindset matters the most. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt or frustration, focus on the lessons this setback can teach you. Maybe it shows you areas where you can improve your skills. Maybe it reveals something about how you communicate or manage your time. The key here is that this challenge has the potential to make you better, not worse. The Stoic approach is not just about surviving tough times. It's about using those times to become even more resilient. So, when life gives you obstacles, don't just accept them. Use them to your advantage. You see, being anti-fragile means that, unlike fragile things that break under pressure, you become stronger, more adaptable, and more capable when life throws challenges your way. In fact, you welcome them. It's like building a muscle. You become stronger every time you face a tough moment and learn to overcome it. Now, how do you apply this anti-fragile mindset in everyday life? The next time you face something tough, stop and think, this isn't here to break me. It's here to make me stronger. What can I learn from this? What's the opportunity here? It's a simple shift in perspective, but it can completely change the way you approach challenges. If you take on life with this mindset, you'll find that setbacks no longer define you. Instead, you'll see them as stepping stones to becoming the best version of yourself, stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever. And that, my friends, is how you truly reset, restart, and refocus your life. Remember, the obstacle is the way. So embrace it, learn from it, and let it make you stronger. Strategy number 9. Live each day as if it were your last. Imagine waking up tomorrow, but you know it's your last day on Earth. What would you do? How would you spend those final hours? Who would you call? What would you leave behind? These aren't easy questions, but they're powerful ones, because they force us to rethink how we live every single day. Now, I know this might sound a little extreme, and you may be thinking, I'm not going to die tomorrow, so why worry about it? But here's the thing, we often live as if we have forever. We put off the things that matter most, thinking we'll get to them later. We let time slip by, wasting precious moments on things that, in the grand scheme, don't truly matter. We get caught up in our routines and forget to ask ourselves the most important question of all. Am I living fully right now? Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." In other words, we live our lives as if time is unlimited, spending our days in fear of the things we can't control, and yet chasing after things we don't truly need, as if we have endless time to get them. But life doesn't work that way. Time is our most valuable resource, and once it's gone, we can never get it back. So, what if we started living each day like it was our last? Not in a dramatic, morbid way, but in a way that reminds us how precious life really is. Imagine waking up and asking yourself, if today were my last day, would I be proud of how I'm spending it? Would you focus on your work stress, or would you prioritize the people you love? Would you spend hours scrolling on social media, or would you invest time in things that truly fulfill you? Would you let small annoyances get to you, or would you let go of what's out of your control? By asking ourselves this question every day, we begin to shift our mindset. We stop wasting time on petty distractions and start focusing on what truly matters. Whether it's spending quality time with family, pursuing a passion project, or simply taking a moment to enjoy the beauty around us. It's about being present. It's about living with intention. It's about appreciating the now, because the present moment is the only one we truly have. And here's the thing, when we start living with the awareness that our time is limited, we begin to make better choices. We become more mindful of how we spend our days, and we start to appreciate the things we've been taking for granted. We stop waiting for the perfect moment, because we realize that moment is now. We begin to take action, chase our dreams, and focus on what will truly matter when we look back on our lives. The Stoics weren't trying to scare us with the idea of death. Instead, they wanted us to use it as a tool for living better. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, wrote in his journals, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." So, ask yourself, what's stopping me from living fully today? What are you putting off that you know deep down you should be doing? Start today. Start right now. Because the truth is, none of us know how much time we have left. But we do know that today is an opportunity to live with purpose, to love more deeply, and to make the most of every single moment. And if you can live each day as if it were your last, you'll find that life becomes more meaningful, more fulfilling, and more aligned with your true purpose. Take a moment, reflect. What would you do differently today if you lived as if it were your last? Make that shift, and you'll be amazed at how it changes the way you approach life. Strategy number 10. Create your own Stoic morning and night routine. Let's talk about something that can truly transform your life. Creating a Stoic morning and night routine. This might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful when done consistently. The Stoics were very intentional about how they started and ended their days, and we can use this same approach to reset, restart, and refocus our lives. In the morning, the first moments after you wake up are crucial. Instead of rushing through your morning or scrolling through your phone, take a few minutes to plan your day with intention. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, used to remind himself each morning of the challenges he would face and how he would approach them with wisdom, patience, and self-discipline. He understood that the way we start our day sets the tone for everything that follows. So, when you wake up, don't jump out of bed immediately. Sit up for a moment. Take a deep breath. Think about the day ahead. What challenges might you face? What goals do you want to accomplish? And most importantly, how will you approach everything with a calm, Stoic mindset? You might say something like, "Today, I will face obstacles, but I will handle them with patience and resilience. I will focus on what I can control, and I will let go of what I cannot." Once you've centered your thoughts, make a short list of your goals for the day. These shouldn't be vague goals like, be productive. Be specific. What are the most important things you need to accomplish today? Write them down, even if they seem small. The Stoics believed that daily, intentional actions lead to a life well lived. Whether it's a work project, a personal goal, or a task you've been avoiding, focusing on your priorities first thing will help you stay grounded and aligned with your values. Now, let's talk about your night routine. The Stoics also understood the importance of reflecting on their actions before they went to bed. Before you sleep, spend a few minutes looking back on your day. What went well? What could you have done better? This practice is a form of self-examination. The Stoics believed that without reflection, we can't improve. This process is about growth, not self-criticism. It's about learning from each day, even the mistakes, so that you can do better tomorrow. Here's a simple way to do this. Before bed, sit quietly for a few moments. Reflect on your day. Ask yourself questions like, what was my biggest accomplishment today? What did I struggle with? How did I react to challenges, and could I have handled them better? You don't need to dwell on every little thing, but giving yourself this time for reflection will help you clear your mind and prepare for the next day with more clarity and purpose. A great Stoic practice is also journaling. You don't need to write pages and pages. Just a few sentences about your reflections can make a big difference. Write about what you learned, what you're grateful for, and how you plan to improve. This practice helps you hold yourself accountable to your own growth and keeps you focused on what truly matters. By following a Stoic morning and night routine, you create a sense of control and calm in your life. You start your day with purpose, and you end it with reflection and gratitude. These routines might seem small, but over time, they compound into something much larger, living a life of intention, wisdom, and growth. So try it for a week. Give yourself a Stoic morning and night routine. See how it changes your perspective, how it clears your mind, and how it helps you reset, restart, and refocus your life. It's a small commitment each day, but the results are profound. As we've seen today, these 10 Stoic principles aren't just ideas, they're practical tools to reset, restart, and refocus your life. They've stood the test of time for a reason. If you apply even just one or two of these strategies, you'll start to feel the shift in how you think, act, and approach life. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. The Stoics understood that life is unpredictable, but we can control how we respond to it. And by doing that, we regain our peace and our power. So take a moment now. Think about one Stoic lesson you'll implement today. Is it letting go of something holding you back? Or maybe practicing gratitude through negative visualization? Whatever it is, make it your focus. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you know someone who could benefit from resetting their life, share this video with them. Let's spread this timeless wisdom together. Comment below with which Stoic principle spoke to you the most, and let's continue the conversation. I'm excited to hear your thoughts and see how you're applying these strategies to transform your life. Remember, the journey of self-improvement starts with just one step. So take that step today. See you in the next video.